Not safe for work. What unexpectedly turned you on? Please consider subscribing if you enjoy the video. I accidentally Pavloved myself. There used to be this peen I watched with two chicks in it that had no audio other than music by Disturbed. Years later Disturbed came on the radio. I instantly got turned on. Was so confused for like 10 seconds. You walk out like a cum-stained hurricane. Come on, get down with the thickness. Late to the party, but whatever, being in my tent. Like, I don't even know. When I'm camping and I retire to my tent, slip into my sleeping bag and zip up the little tent door, I have no idea, but apparently that really does it for me. What a strangely pure fetish, lol. So popping a tent pops a tent. LOL. That scene in GoldenEye where Xenia on the top squeezes that guy to death awoke something in me at a very young age. She always did like a good squeeze. This guy I was seeing called customer service to get a company error corrected. He used the softest, firmest, most understanding tone I've ever heard and I lost my damn mind. My friend will look me in the eye when I'm talking to him and like raise his eyebrows and shit to show he's listening, and goddamn is it hot. Maybe it's a female stereotype, but good listeners are hot lumpheo. I get it. I have a friend who does the same and it's incredible to feel like you're the most important person in the world to them, even if just for a moment. Go on. When I was a freshman in college, an English boy in one of my classes said the phrase war of attrition with his English accent and I had to go take a breather. Shame that there's a lot of British accents that makes us sound like we are having a stroke. My fiance makes this sound when he's turned on by something I'm doing or that he's looking at on me, but it can be a problem sometimes, because he sometimes uses the same sound when he sees like an ad for food that looks really good. Is it the deep growl thing in his throat? Chest? It's the Tim Allen grunt. Don't focus on it being the same noise he makes for food. You're triggering a primal response. Was in bed with my girlfriend and the remote was at the end of the bed. I sit up and basically lazily reach for it on all fours. I'm in some boxer briefs that have a pouch-like thing for your junk, so when I bent over my ball bulge was pretty much in her face. She just playfully punched me in the balls and it hurt and stung, but I almost instantly got hard. I'm now laying on my back holding my balls in protection. She can see the outline of my obvious boner though and starts laughing confusedly. She volunteered to blow me as an apology, and since I was already hard, I asked her to tap my balls a little throughout and I nutted harder than ever. Basically now all of our foreplay commences with a light ball busting, cock and ball torture. I'm not a fan of anything aggressive and honestly after months of doing this, don't see myself doing anything more than the slaps, punches and squeezes we do. I had her kick me once and she didn't really know how much harder a soft kick is than a soft slap. Needless to say the pain shot through my balls and into my soul. Never again. My favorite is when we are lying on the couch or I am just getting out of the shower and she grabs me by the balls and directs me into the bedroom. Also long distance cum shots with slaps during climax. Stop making me feel lonely and horny. First off, I'm a guy, so my high school had a dark room for a black and white film photography program. I was the only boy in the course. There were about 10-15 girls in the class. I was pretty good, and by my junior year, I had been involved in the program longer than any other student. Having so much experience led to me being a good place to go for advice on printing their photos. I would go to their station to figure things out, and the same 3 friends of mine, that were girls, in that class, would come up behind me and rest their chin on my right shoulder, and that would always wake me up. I never expected something like that to send goosebumps up and down my body, and warrant a reaction downstairs, but it happened, and I took it in stride from then on. Not the same thing, but I had something similar where I was talking to a female coworker one day about back pain and for some reason she started telling me how your spine alignment or something can be related to your mood and proceeded to run her fingers from the top of my spine to the bottom twice to check my alignment, and I don't know why, but that shit sent me, and just goes to show human touch is a very powerful thing. She was changing your mood. Did it fix your spine? Hell, in high school if a pretty girl touched a finger to my arm I'd get aroused. A couple years back, my girlfriend at the time and I used to have sex while Pandora played. Every once in a while a car insurance commercial would play in the middle of songs. We laughed it off, but it didn't distract us from doing the deed. Fast forward a couple years forward and I hear that same car insurance commercial. Instant erection. Paging Dr. Pavlov. Ding dong. Pavlov. Oh crap. Elle forgot to feed the dogs. The reverse Pavlov effect. My girlfriend, when she picked up a knife, didn't expect that one. Had me worried for a second. When my husband looks back when he's backing in the car. Same. You leave her husband alone. You hussy. Physical therapy. A no bullshit Indian lady is working on my neck. I start to droop my head. She unceremoniously yanks me back into position. Keep your head up. Damn. Yes, mistress. I tried to not sexualize the guy doing my PT. We were kinda joking and got along well. Then he takes my leg, wraps it over my torso and leans on me, and I was. When my so jokingly bit my butt, I was lying naked on the bed after a shower and he straight up bit my butt cheek as a joke, and dang. It did things. Taking a Greek mythology course in the TA, a curvy redhead, said if you want to talk about mythology for hours on end, I'm your girl. This comment did it for me. It's spreading. Dear God. My wife doesn't really ever swear, except when we are doing the deed. Then she throws around F-bombs freely. One day she kicked the corner of the table and screamed out aloud, "Fuck." I had a Pavlovian response in my shorts. 12 years ago my wife said, "Frick me like you paid for it." I still think about that. Really makes you think, wait, how much did I pay? I don't have a medical fetish, but for some reason medical scrubs do it for me. I'm glad I wasn't the only one. Likewise, no fetish, but a well-fitting pair of scrubs is hot. Driving off cliffs in video games. Falling in them in general. Also those videos of people jumping around on very high ledges and buildings. Finally something just plain frickin' weird, right? I'm going through this reading stuff like when a guy gets a boner during XYZ, being on top and teasing my partner, when my wife jumps up and down, etc. Those things are all expected. Sit down. There is a person talking about ripe-looking tomatoes. Someone acting out of character, so a shy guy suddenly being aggressive or a loud dude being quiet, in a situation that might call for it. So like a big loud dude being soft towards a cat, or a quiet dude defending someone in a fight. Once my very quiet and innocent friend who never curses said bitch, and I've never been the same since. My former professor took job as copywriter for the education system in our company, so I write the technical stuff, send it to him and he'll make it nice to read. First time I read his work on my text, I was amazed by how well he understood what I meant and made it so much better, and I got wet. I still sometimes think about certain paragraphs when fapping. Wow, that's freaking hilarious. And the guy is probably walking around with no idea he has this superpower. Are you joking that legend probably makes Fallout Boy anagrams from Shakespeare passages and bangs the cheerleading squad every year? I don't know. He just gets me. I, female, was doing dishes, and one of male friends who was visiting was watching me from the doorway, unbeknownst to me. When I noticed, he was just casually standing there, leaning against the frame, arms crossed, moist, panties. Did you tell him? Haha, I sure did. And then what happened? My hairdresser straddles my leg once in a while and gets really close. She also give the best scalp massages. The moment I realized I needed to break up with my ex was when I realized I got more physical contact from the person cutting my hair than my partner at the time. Not a fun realization, but def surprise turn on cause I used to hate haircuts. Someone being extremely passionate about history or doing well in Scrabble. It's very weird. Doing well in Scrabble. Amy Santiago. I never thought of it like that. Thank you. Yes, this is the perfect description. Based on your name, I think we all know what turns you on. 70-year-old woman said I was handsome. Got a raging hard-on for some reason. I think I need a girlfriend. At the very least. Free cookies. You ever had a gal without teeth give you a blowjob before? Granny gum jobs. Lick my ear and I'm down to frick. Never get a puppy please. Kind of like a reverse hair down moment. Don't know how to describe it. First time noticing was a girl I kind of knew in high school, sort of pretty with really long brunette hair, in a science class. It was a practical lab, so no hanging hair. In just one sweep she gathered up all her hair and pulled and tied it into a ponytail, and slipped on the safety glasses, and I was just gone. She blinded you with science. Was going to say the same thing. My first date with my girlfriend. She put her hair up in a bun and it felt like time was moving in slow motion. I wasn't sure if I was gay or not, and those few seconds cleared that one up. I told her about it and she said it felt a little awkward to her actually. She was struggling to get her hair in the tie. But I enjoyed it. Man buns must really confuse you. Wife couldn't reach something and I caught her hopping up to try and get to it when she didn't know I was there. My brain went into primal must frick right now mode. And now everything in your house is just out of reach, right? Hitting the rumble strips on the side of the road. PLZ change your tires often. And your underwear, apparently. Read this is what unexpectedly turned on you and started writing about how when I was younger my grandma's sweet dog almost tore off 2 of my fingers. Thank God I went back and read it. Looked me dead in the face, asked AskReddit, and I jizzed in my pants. I just ate a grape and I jizzed in my pants. When Bruce Willis was dead at the end of Sixth Sense Thanks for watching and subscribe for more r/AskReddit content. Be sure to check out our playlist, link in the description below.